Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Date Your Wife. My name is Garrett J. White. I am the founder of Wiggle Warrior, and I am here with my beautiful wife who has experienced the wrath and the excitement and the passion of being married to a warrior man. Here, quickly, if you're on the video, you can see her. Oh, there she was. Oh, let's show you one more time. And there she is. And there she is, cute, one more time. Oh, and that's all you get to see until we pull it all the way out. Now, we've been doing this show for a lot of episodes. I don't even know, is this number 13?
Is it
14?
normal to do one show a week for most podcasts?
It is. Do you feel like this is a lot?
No, I just know that you do everything with excess, and so I didn't know if that's like a normal speed or too many. What do you guys think? Can you let us know? I mean, I was reading the reviews. We have 5 stars. That's good.
That's good.
Like tons of positive comments.
Okay.
That's great.
Any people talking shit?
Not really. There was like 2 comments in the beginning where they were like, I can't hear, your audio is not working, but we got to fix, so we're good.
The audio's a problem. But we're good now. We're feeling good now. You feeling good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's roll. We got a shorter show.
We got a shorter show. This is a quickie show.
You know what I like?
It's a quickie show.
It's a quickie show.
Oh.
Segue. Oh, Jesus.
What's our topic today? Why don't you introduce our topic?
It's bad when I start to think you're funny.
That means that my slow seduction is like a virus in your soul. I have slowly taken over your bandwidth in your mind. All right, listen, here's the deal. If you're new to this show and you are a married man or woman, we hope this show serves you. If you are a follower inside of the games of the Warrior's Way to having it all published inside of the Warrior book or the newest edition of the book come out called Be the Man, which is the prequel to the Warrior book, well, we are here to talk about the other side of the story, which is the topics around being married, having kids, running businesses together, and ultimately living the Warrior's
There's
way.
always 2 sides of the story. So
there is.
I had to come out and make him an honest man.
You had to come bring an honest man. Oh, we don't need those sandwiches right now because we can't eat them on the show. But you can eat your sandwich.
Give Ruby hers.
My daughter was coming over. You want to come over and put your face on this camera real quick? Come here. Come here quickly and say hello to the people. You got to sit. You got to kind of be right where I am. Here you go.
What's up?
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Someone. Okay.
So sassy. All right, that's enough.
Okay,
your
bye.
tongue is yellow, by the way. Thank you for your orange Gatorade.
Give your sister her sandwich, please.
Give your sister a sandwich.
And put ours in the fridge.
And put ours in the fridge.
Bye. Love you.
What?
It has cheddar cheese.
Oh my God.
I thought she doesn't like cheddar cheese.
She is racist against cheddar. She's always says
Only
white
provolone?
cheese.
Okay, well,
I
one of them does not have.
Ladies, you give your man 2 choices, he will always pick the wrong one. I'm not sure why.
I was sitting there, I was in delay.
You send him to the grocery store to get milk, he will get eggs.
Okay, Bailey, give her the one without any cheese.
There's not one.
Take the cheese
There
off,
should be
child.
no. There should be one without cheese and one with cheddar.
Nope.
Oh,
Okay, we'll take the cheddar off
of
of one of them off and figure it out. We got to finish this show.
Love you.
All right, love you. Bye. All right, so our children have to come to the studio with us because
it's Monday and it's still spring break, and I didn't know. And I was like, "Wow, you have to come." So we give them the iPads, plug them in, and give them some food, and they're good to go.
And we're good to go. Obviously, I messed up the cheese. I literally was standing there in line, and I'm thinking,
it's like the day when you're like, when is
provolone?
our daughter's birthday? And I'm like, you have 3 kids, and 2 of them have the same birthday.
So I should, and then
Ladies,
I still.
like really,
wrong.
like sometimes you're like, are you listening when I'm talking? Did you ask that question and like?
I think yeah. Sometimes I'm listening. Sometimes I'm listening. Many times I'm listening when you think I'm not listening.
Or sometimes you ask a question and I'm like, did you really just ask me that? And then you're like, never mind, I know the answer. Like the birthday question.
Okay, well done.
Okay,
so
let's move on.
our show here has a purpose, which is to give couples a chance to have a conversation. Are you a licensed marriage therapist?
Uh-huh.
Oh, are you a doctor?
I am licensed with the slip and slide and the QQP.
I am a level 1 certified
that's
trainer
an
of the
inside joke that you'll
QQP
have
and
to
the
go
slip
back
and slide maneuver.
To our other shows.
Yeah. So neither one of us are therapy therapists. Neither one of us are licensed doctors. Neither one of us actually even have a
listen to your own risk
grocery store discount coupon card.
I have a Ralph's
to get credit. You do. All right. Well, okay. Danielle has a Ralph's card. I still do not. The lady still does the beep and gives me the discount, even though I don't have a card. I don't know why she does this. It's probably not a good idea. She's probably saying no discount for you because you're not in the rewards.
I always look at them like I give them a wink.
You give them a look,
and they're gonna scan.
You literally
it
give them a
anyway.
wink.
So
do you do the wink
I
to
just
a lady?
am like,
do you do the wink?
I forgot it, and they're like, "Do you want another one?" But what I really want to say is like, I'm too lazy to fill out the information and actually turn back in the form. So if you could just go ahead and swipe your card, that'd be great. Thanks. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a great segue. Laziness and sexuality.
You know what? I think think the beginning.
Segue.
I think the beginning of our show is like you trying to figure out what you want to segue, and like we have a topic each week. It's like sex, communication, all this stuff, and you're waiting. I'm always like, do you know where the show's gonna go? And you're like, no. So I think you like to banter to figure out where the show's going.
I like the banter to figure out where you're at.
It's going.
It's like testing the waters. It's like I put a little sample in there, throw a little line.
Nope. Why does this specific show always turn off to like a screw off?
Oh, it's not though. It's exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
This show's perfect. All right,
let's do this.
Here we go. We're going to talk about sex because this is our topic of choice today because our banter here goes from sex to money to parenting to communication. Then we come back around to the topic of sex. Danielle's got her Diet Coke. She's ready to go. She's loading up her system with a little caffeine so she can talk about this. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Diet Coke. Actually, no, we'd like to thank our local sandwich shop for selling us a Diet Coke for like $40.
I always have like some form of caffeine.
Something.
Got to get through it.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually introduce an interesting topic on this.
I'm always so excited to see her. No, I'm gonna actually introduce the topic today.
Oh wow!
So,
okay, off you go. I like this. Will be a first.
Laziness in sex.
Okay. Let's talk.
Listen,
expand on this because you're a little bit of a professional with this.
Haven't you heard the quote? Men are like, what is it? Women are like crock pots. Men are like toasters.
Oh my God!
Is that it? I don't remember.
No. I guess it could be like a toaster. Men are like microwaves.
Yeah.
Women are like crock pots.
I can't remember.
I appreciate that. Women are like spoons, and men are like Doritos. All right, Kay. So
that was rude.
Give it to us. Talk to me about this this laziness and sex that you've demonstrated at times.
What? No,
Yeah.
I said women are like crock pots.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the topic of laziness and sex. You gave a quote.
Listen, it goes back to
about
QQP.
crock pots and you used toaster.
It goes back to we did an episode and I called it Quickie Porn Star.
Review this for them really quickly, just in case they're here listening for the first time.
It's not that I don't want to put in the effort, but I don't want to put in the effort sometimes.
Oh shit! Listen to what my wife just said.
You get special favors on your birthday, and there's Christmas, and there's Hanukkah, and then there's New Year's, and that's it, buddy. 3 times a year.
Cinco de Mayo gets left off the list. Should be on the list. So wait, let me get this straight. Yeah, Quickie Porn Star was a model that you created.
You know what I found? Okay, I'm just going to go there right now real quick.
Because
this is where I want to go. So listen, we always joke around like how many times you have to service your man. And I'm like, you know how you can get away with servicing your man is you just play the role of like you just get like really into it.
Yes.
So it doesn't always mean like you like I know there's a lot of women who don't like to service their men that way, and there's some that do like to service their men that way.
When you say service their men, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about probably,
I don't know. Tell us.
Is this how friendly of a show is this?
This has been explicit lyrics from the beginning.
Okay,
We're the only explicit lyrics podcast in all of family and parenting. All right. We're like knife salesmen in a what? No, they don't know. Tell us. What does service your man mean?
Please tell me. You
I don't
tell
know.
me.
I don't service my man. If I'm servicing my own man, that means I'm like masturbating.
Servicing your man.
What does this mean?
To me, when I was joking around like Christmas, Hanukkah, I was talking about.
But what does servicing your man mean?
I can't say it.
Say it.
I want to hear you say it.
Are you talking about having sex?
No.
Are you talking about a blowjob?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so wait. So servicing your man is a blowjob.
That's what I was referring to, yes.
Okay. This was a topic that came up at a party a few days ago.
It did?
Yeah. Remember the mattress strategy?
Oh,
it was being introduced by one of our friends. It was a little insane.
Stop.
All right. Okay. So service your man actually means blowjob. I didn't know this.
No.
I was actually thinking service your man meant something else, like having sex. But you're talking about blowjob.
No, I was like thinking specifically like that's great, but there's other ways you can service your man, like just getting really into it.
Okay, good. So servicing your man is bigger than blowjob.
Because I think that men genuinely enjoy serving women.
True.
I don't know that.
I think it depends on the person.
When I don't know. Every girl I've talked to has been like, yeah, the guy seems way more out to serve versus the girl being out to serve in that form.
Does that mean that girls are lazy? Like sexually lazy?
No,
Would you say that women are sexually lazy?
I just think that penises are ugly. I'm just going to say it.
You're just going to say it? You're not really attractive?
No.
Yeah, so vaginas aren't exactly like on the top 5 here.
Really? But then why do guys like doing that more?
What? Like you're talking about giving oral sex?
Yeah, I feel like men are more into it. No?
Well, I don't. Again, it depends on the couple. It depends on the individual. I happen to be one of those guys.
Well, from when I've talked to other
I think
couples,
I think it's less about blowjobs, and I think the technical term is cunnilings. It's a weird word. I don't know why they came up with this word, cunnilings. I don't know what this means. It's just like oral sex.
This show went south real quick.
It didn't go south. It didn't go south.
North.
It didn't go south anywhere. But like, here's the thing I want you to look at. Okay, so you've expanded the topic of servicing your man, but you've also acknowledged that servicing your man is important, regardless of what the servicing looks like.
Sure.
Okay, so why? Why is it important? Because a lot of women don't get this, and you didn't get this for a long time.
Well, no, because
Off you go.
I have friends.
I love how you generalize that. You like throw out like, I have friends.
I have friends.
I
talk to women. I own a
in
salon,
places.
and it seems like I'll talk to women who I feel like are not in a good place in their relationship, and I'm like thinking, oh, maybe they don't have a lot of sex, and then I find out they're like having sex like every night or every night. I'm like, oh my God, what is your husband complaining about? And they're like, but then I'm wondering, I'm like, Garrett calls it vaginal masturbation when the girl like is just like, yeah, that's fine, and they just kind of like
you just lay there.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Right.
Not even lay there. I mean, even on my laziest days, I don't just lay there. But I'm just
True.
saying, like, it's their girl's not really into it. She doesn't show love or appreciation for her husband in that way because maybe she's in a place in her relationship where she doesn't feel that. Do you know what I mean? But she's just kind of like, it's fine. And so I think the guy maybe, I don't know because I'm not a guy, but I would imagine if, like, my partner was kind of showing that energy that I would feel very unemotionally, I would feel like not fulfilled. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, yeah, I guess I'm getting off or I guess I'm having sex, but I wouldn't feel the same connection as when two partners actually want to have sex together and put forth that energy, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, well done. I agree with you.
I know.
Okay, so like I think this giving lazy side of the game, I think that what we're really defining is that one person in the relationship tends to be the giver and one person in the relationship tends to be the taker.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
You're a taker.
You know
Let's
what?
just call it how
you know
it is.
what? You know what? I'm gonna.
Oh, I like it. I like how you stood up straight and you put your chest out and you put your arms out on that one.
I'm gonna give the guys a pointer.
Okay, off you go.
Get your girl warmed up and then worry about yourself. Sometimes you're too giving. I'm like,
get yourself warmed up and then worry about yourself.
Yes.
Continue. You've just hit gold again. Every time we do this show, you hit gold. I mean, I don't understand.
Your voice went so high. You were
Go!
so excited. Oh, too far.
All right, so give it to us here. What did you call it? You said
you get yourself. No, you don't get yourself. Let your man warm you up.
And
then the man, you need to worry about yourself.
So warm her up.
Warm her up, then worry about yourself. It's more attractive.
Warm her up, worry about yourself.
That's the title of the show.
All right, explain what you mean by this because this is literally just entering the archives of QQPS.
Women are like crockpots. Like, listen, even for me, like I can have a quickie and I can get into it, but I'm literally like it takes a lot more focus. You know what I mean? So if I want to enjoy a quickie, I just have to kind of really like zone in and focus. Where I don't know, maybe some guys do, some guys don't. But I think it just goes back to like and same on for the women. Like if you allow your guy to kind of warm you up, then you'll probably get more into it. He'll feel fulfilled, you're fulfilled, and then I don't know, there gets this point for us where I'm like, stop worrying about me, I'm good, I'm there, I'm ready, you know what I mean? And so for men, I would say that's your time to be like, all right, like kind of take charge a little bit and stop worrying about the girl.
So how do you know when the warming up has been sufficient?
How do you not know when the warming up is not?
Well, it's hard to tell because sometimes you pull out this holdout strategy where you just like literally will intentionally block the warming up process sometimes to begin.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
not
block even the warm up.
It's cute. It's not. It's quick. It's quickie day.
So on quickie day, there's no warm up. Is that what you're saying? There's no warm up on quickie day?
Quickie day.
You just come out of the bathroom naked with an erection and you're ready to go. You're like, hey, listen, let's do this.
That's quickie day.
But literally, that's receptive. I could just walk out of the bathroom and do this. I've never tried this. Walk out of the bathroom naked and just fully erect, ready to go.
I feel like you do that a lot. I literally like mention like, do you want to have sex? And you're like, yes, I am ready. So maybe most men are not that easy. You're so easy. Play hard to get. Try to be.
I'm pretty easy.
I'm like
quite easy.
I'm like disappointed when I'm like when I'm like, hey, let's have sex, and you're like not into it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's happened occasionally.
I know, it's weird. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Occasionally it's happened. You've been like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, seriously, I need to get some.
But it doesn't take a lot of what I'm saying is it doesn't take a lot of motivation for guys. Like literally, you could just walk around the bedroom naked, like just like two passes, back, forth, back. By the third one, the guy's like, okay. But for girls, like
Walking back and forth 3
No.
times naked does not do it for you?
No.
That doesn't count as a warm-up?
No.
What if I look like, what if I've shaved my body hair?
Why do you always go to this weird, what if I do a dance and wear an
I didn't say
elephant
dance. I said
Speedo?
shave my body hair. Like, are you not turned on at all if I walk around naked?
No, I am, but it doesn't, I'm not like ready to go is what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like,
so it takes some warm-up.
yeah.
Okay, so you need some warm-up going on here. Inside of this strategy, you said warm her up
Warm her
and
up
then worry about yourself.
and then worry about
Okay,
yourself.
talk more about this worry about yourself. What does this mean, worry about yourself? This is
I
interesting
already
because
said.
guys, well, you got 2 types of guys. You got guys who don't worry about girls at all. They don't
Yeah,
worry about their wife at
ew,
all. They just are worried
ew,
about their own
yeah.
orgasm. Okay, so that
Ew.
doesn't work out.
That does
And
not
then you
work
have guys
out.
who are worried about their wife's orgasm. There's an entire book. It was called She Comes First. Did you know this?
Really?
Yes. This is a big thing
know what?
guys have
No,
been trained
okay,
on.
I
Girls
disagree.
should have
No, no, no.
orgasms first.
I
That's
disagree.
what they say.
You know what? I'm going to
Okay.
tell you from a girl's perspective.
All right, good.
That
It's good that you're a girl
I like
and
to
you're
be
going to give me your
warmed.
perspective.
I like to be warmed up, but if I
Okay.
go first, I'm less into him. I'm just like, go ahead and do your business. I gotta get up in like 6 hours, and so for me, like if that's what I'm trying to
So
give
if
you guys
once
a tip.
Once you've
Like,
had an orgasm, you're
yeah,
tapped
and
out.
most women don't go multiple times. I know on our last sex topic, you were like, I hold out, and I go like for me, if I just have one good one, I'm like, I'm good. I mean, I'm kind of tired, got shit to do. I'm like, it's good. And so I would just say, like, for me, I think the whole worry about yourself really works out well for me.
Okay, so warm you up and worry about yourself. But what if I go first? Then you seem to be a little demotivated
man,
too.
Because,
So it's like kind of a catch-22. If I go second, you're demotivated.
so
If
either-
I go first, you're
well,
demotivated.
it's a song and a dance,
so
buddy.
maybe we've got to go at the same time.
Yeah, that's always the best,
That's
though.
never happened.
That has happened a lot.
Like a lot?
A lot.
Have you been sleeping with someone else? Because I don't.
You know what?
I don't know if I
That's
was in the
good.
room during
Usually
this.
how it goes is like, I think you can tell for me, and then you'll go right after, which that's great too. That's like close enough.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
close. It's like
close
within
enough.
so if
like
it's within
you're
a
both at
30-second
the finish
window.
line. You're both at the finish line.
Okay, so within 30 seconds we've gone at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've
Yeah,
done.
you
We
just
have
have
done
to be
this.
close to the finish line.
But
together.
typically on that, I don't go first, like on those. I typically go second. Like I'm holding out, and I know you go, and then I'm like, forget about it. I'm out of here. Let's do this. And I just cross the finish line with you.
Nice.
Okay.
Good. Go team.
There's this pause moment where we both were looking at each other and we're like,
I'm like, shit, did that happen? I'm gonna bring my watch next time.
okay. All right, so let's come back. Let's come back to this. All right, a couple sides. Lazy side in bed for guys, though.
I don't know.
Married men being
You're
lazy.
always willing to do the work. Good
I am
for
willing.
you.
I am willing to do the work. It's pretty much my motto in life.
But you
do the
have to
fucking
say,
work.
you know what? You have to say, like, I'm always open to like not a big show, and so like there's some nights you don't have to do a lot of work. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And maybe that's like a good combination for both of us too, because I'm like, I don't really care. We can just make this. We can do this quick. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna ask you another random question out of nowhere. You ready? I think we hit this topic. Warm them up, then worry about yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Here's another one. Should you count how much sex you're having, and track it and tell your partner yes or no?
I think that's weird.
Okay, cool. So talk to me more about this.
I already told you my theory on this though on one of our other shows. Like you can always tell it when there's a drift, and like there's times that like we're both so busy and there's that drift, and I'm like, I just need to take him in the back and screw him real quick. And it alleviates like that wife guilt, and it also alleviates like the tension, and then it's just like that would be a quickie, but sometimes that's enough to like bring you back to where then like there was like I'll give you an example.
Okay, give us an example.
Garrett was out of town, and we had like a bigger stretch in time, and I could tell he was kind of like edgy, so I was like, all right, let's just get this out of the way. So we go ahead and have a quickie, and then that night we did a longie, and sometimes that's a good combination too, like
That was a good combination.
because it's like
But we were
you get that
restoring
off
like
the table.
deficit.
Yeah, you get that off the table and out of the way so you can like have a good day and there's not that weird rift. And there's a lot of women who they'll say, "Oh, my husband's traveling a ton," or it takes me a minute to warm back up to him, and I'm like, I get it. And my advice for women would be like, if maybe your guy's in the military, or maybe he just travels a ton, and I know like when he comes home, you're just like you're almost kind of like bugged. You're like, I'm bugged that you're traveling so much, but I appreciate that you're taking care of me. So it's this weird mixed emotion for the women. And it gets to this, they're almost standoffish. And the guy's like, I just want to have sex with you. I would encourage you women, and I learned this kind of the hard way because I'd always be that girl that was a little bit standoffish. And then we'd get in a fight, we'd have a shitty day, and I was like, I haven't even seen him for a while, and I don't want to start off like this. Just, if you just get that out of the way, like, it doesn't have to be like a big show. Like, literally just be like, hey, how are you? Like, kiss, whatever, have sex, be done. I promise you, like, the whole rest of your day, it's just like, and the guy is like putty in your hands. He's just like, what do you want to do? You're like, I want to go shopping, and I want to go to the beach, and I want to go to this. And he's like, that's great, you know? And so I used to be stubborn and be like, oh, I'm kind of,
Yes,
it's weird, but I
did.
was like, I'm kind of bugged that you're gone, but at the same time, like I said, appreciative, like you're helping provide for the family, and I know that's your work. So I would just say try that, because sometimes it's like not that big of a deal. Like, just get that out of the way, and then if it happens later that night, great. If it happens next night, great. So anyways, that's all I was.
So this was a huge struggle. This was a huge struggle for us, because here's what goes on for men when they travel, right? If they've been gone at all at any given time for business, doesn't matter, 2 days, 2 weeks, doesn't matter. When men are gone, they end up feeling a increased drive sexually. It just happens.
I think it's just stress with work and everything else. don't you
Yeah,
think?
but it could be that. I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that every man I've ever talked to, trained, or worked with, when they travel, even if it's for just overnight, there is an increased spike of being gone from their wife, in which sexual desire increases. Now, what ends up happening at times, a lot of times for guys who travel, in particular if they're gone for a bunch of days, is they end up in the trap of porn.
Another thing, too, if your guy's traveling, I think it's good to have sex the night before they go.
I agree.
Or sometimes when it hasn't happened for us, I'm like in the morning. And it's just like one of those things. Like, I know, ladies, it sounds weird, but you're like, just get it done. It like it'll make little subtle things like that will make your relationship better. And when the guy goes out of town, he's not going to be like, he's going to be more focused. And just get it off the table. It's not a big deal.
You're speaking glorious words.
You're welcome.
So look at this strategy. This was not the case. So here's what used to happen to us. I would leave
Yeah,
on a
like I
business
said,
trip.
I learned the hard way where it
Yep.
would create more like tension and fights, and then I was like, I was like, it has to be not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. And so, and what I noticed is like you were sweeter and nicer to me. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
And I'm like, it's win-win. I'm getting what I want, and he's getting what he wants. So it's win-win both ways. And I'm not saying there's not times we don't connect and have great sex, but there's sometimes it's like I always joke around. I'm like, put one in for the team, and I literally mean team you and I. You know? So
here's a strategy for traveling. Because I was bringing up the porn on trips. This is a very big issue for guys traveling. Is porn. So, ladies, whether you've known this or not, it just is. If men are gone and they're not having sex, and they're gone from their partner, the temptation to go to porn is very high. And masturbation, just to deal with the energy of it. Some guys will drink, party. Some guys won't do either of those things. They'll just find other ways to sedate. And some guys are on point. And here's the thing that's so interesting about this. When your man is on point and you're on point as a woman together, and he goes on a trip, this simple strategy: have sex the night before you go, have date night the night before you go. Date night before you go, and sex that night before he leaves. Whether you're fighting or angry or not, like if you do it, life is going to be better, because your man's going to go hunt more powerfully, which means when he's gone, he's going to be more productive in business, and he's not going to go to porn, because he's going to feel connected to you while he's gone. He doesn't actually want to go to porn, and he doesn't want to feel the sexual frustration that spikes when you're on the road. But he also, coming back, doesn't want to feel all kinds of crazy weirdness and chaos. And so if you haven't connected before you left, which Danielle used to fight with me for 2 or 3 days before I
ask
left
you a
anywhere.
question?
Let me finish,
Okay.
and then you can. 2 or 3 days in a row, we would fight before I left. Then we would be gone, and Danielle would cold shoulder me because I was gone. And then I would come back, and she would be angry at me because I had been gone for a couple days. And then it would be only there was about a 2-day window before I was traveling again, because we were losing like 3 days before. We would lose the 3 or 4 days I was gone. We'd lose 3 or 4 days after I got back, and then there'd be this window, and then she'd be angry again because I'm leaving in like 3 or 4 days, and then I'd be gone for 3 or 4 days, and then I'd be back for 3 or 4 days, and it was this vicious cycle that just never seemed to end. So the solution was simple: sex the night before you go, connect and communicate throughout the week, sex when you get back. No porn on the road, no masturbation on the road, just like stay on point, get yourself on point, sex before you leave, sex right when you get back. All right, what were you going to ask me?
say it doesn't happen.
What
like
doesn't happen? It did
sex.
this exact thing happened going to Orlando.
What?
We didn't have sex before we left.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So
Do you know
say,
why? Because you were pregnant at the time.
I know.
So there was like, I was like kind of feeling a little like,
Well, that's the thing. Let
was
me
kinda- yeah,
ask my
keep going.
question. So
All right.
so say it doesn't happen, like like excuse me. Say say there's like, it's the night before you're traveling and the wife's not feeling good, or somebody's working late. So you go to bed at different times. You don't see each other in the morning, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't happen. So does the guy, in your experience, like, do you feel like pouty? Are you like, oh my gosh? Are you just,
sometimes. Mm-hmm.
like, and how can men take accountability for that if it doesn't happen?
I think, it's tough. They can take accountability for that if they know they're going to come home and they're going to have sex right away. But if they don't know, because what ends up happening for guys, they get stuck in this trap of, it didn't happen before I left. Now I'm gone, and all this sexual spike has happened. Then I come home, and there's no guarantees it's going to happen because my wife is usually angry. And women tend to be able to just drift for weeks.
But my point in saying is, like, there was this time where Garrett would have what I was trying to get to is, like,
just be direct, woman.
I hate the pouty energy.
Okay, sure.
Like, there's been times where, like, it didn't happen, and then we come home and it's just busy, and you're kind of mopey and pouty, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not, like, you couldn't be less attractive to me, right? And so I'm almost like, I'd rather just, like, if you're feeling that way, don't be pouty and mopey. Like, just be attentive. Like, if it didn't happen, don't wait till it happens to be the nice guy. Like, all I'm saying is don't be pouty, don't be an asshole. If you need to just, like, meditate and get in a good frame and then still treat your wife nice and, like, have positive energy, don't care, because you would do that too sometimes. I remember you'd come back and you'd be, like, pouty and, like, you'd start an argument and it, like, kind of ignore me and not want to do stuff with me or the family or whatnot.
And then drink.
And, well, either way, I don't know, but you just had this really, like, pouty energy, like, I didn't get laid and it's not going to happen. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord, like, you just got home. Like, I get that it didn't happen, but, like, I don't, like, then it makes it worse. It makes it harder to be like, hey, let's reconnect. Let's do this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would encourage you men, like, don't go into, like, pouty mode either, because that's, like, super unattractive.
I wouldn't do that. I don't go to pouty mode anymore. I used to go to pouty mode all the time, though, and I went to pouty mode for, like, 10 years. Do you know why I went to pouty mode?
For 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years I was in pouty mode.
I feel like it's an exaggeration.
No, I would be in pouty mode every couple of weeks. About sex. And you know why I would go to pouty mode? Because I felt so out of control inside of our relationship when it came to sex. I felt like Danielle controlled all the cards and didn't give a shit. She even acknowledged here on the show right now, she kind of was a bitch about it. Let's not call it for what it was. She was kind of a bitch about it.
I didn't say that.
You were.
I didn't say that.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying you were. What's mean you were withheld. You withheld it. You withheld it before, and you were rude about it.
I was trying to understand.
You were rude about it, so I went to pouty.
I was trying to understand, like, my own emotions. Like, I think because I was like, gosh, it was a cycle. It was just a cycle. Like,
sure.
We kept in those same patterns and behaviors. And, like, I was like, I'm feeling this way. I can't pretend like I'm not feeling this way. Do you know what I mean? And so something had to break the cycle. And that was kind of the formula that helped us break that cycle and create new patterns and behaviors and avoid those behaviors that both of us were doing.
Totally. How did you choose to be okay with the quickies? Because that's really what the solution started being is you changed your story about quickies.
I think... I don't know.
You changed your story about it radically because you used to be like completely different. You stopped asking
and you stopped being so pouty.
Why you always got to turn to me? You did something inside of you.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Bullshit. You changed something in you.
Bullshit to you.
It can't always be about the guy.
Okay.
Oh, the guy changed and then I changed.
No.
Bullshit.
In my experience, like
you didn't change at all.
Listen, let me finish. Go. In my experience, like, I noticed you just stopped asking, and you weren't bringing so much pouty energy to the table. And so then I felt like I'm like, oh, I should probably I'm feeling like room to breathe. So now I can go step over and let's try this. But I felt like I was being suffocated, and then, like, you were mad or angry or pouty, and that just made it worse. And I felt like it was like piling on and piling on and piling on, and I had no room to breathe. And the minute that it was almost like you went through this phase that you were like, I'm going to worry about me, and you stopped being a victim. And I'm not to say like that wasn't about you, but doing that and just shifting your energy, in my experience, gave me room to breathe, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to cross the line. So I'm not trying to flip it on you, but in my experience, that's what happened between you and I.
Do you know what I did?
What did you do?
I got a masturbation toy and I started drinking more.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not bullshitting you. We don't have time to talk about it on the show. Next time we talk about sex, I will. I will talk about how
you've talked about it.
I actually had to suppress myself.
But you weren't like...
But when I went to suppression, I no longer was doing the pouty thing because I literally didn't give a shit. I went to a place of suppression, and I also found a hobby. So between finding hobbies and also going to suppression and masturbating, between those three things...
Surfing was really good for you.
Surfing was good for me.
And it's interesting because...
Exceptionally good for me.
Garrett used to do these super intense CrossFit workouts in the garage, and we've talked about this on some other shows. And he would come in and he'd like take the kids to school, but it was like, "Rawr, I'm here to take the kids to school and I will kill you." I was like, oh my God, not to add to the pressure that I'm trying to like get shoes on and shit out the door. And it was like, he came in like, "I will eat your face." And so we moved by the beach and I'm like, why don't you try surfing? It just seemed more like zen.
Yeah, you did push me into it.
But it was more than just a workout. I knew it would be like something that you would enjoy. And so we started surfing, and it was like you come back and you're like happy. And you're like, "Hey guys," and I feel like I'm the crazy one that's like, "Get him out of the house, go, go, go!"
And I feel like I've just come back and I'm like Buddha.
Yeah, and you're just smiley and you're happy. And now, and you know what else I noticed? Like say for example, on Sundays or vacation mode, like when you're not working, you'd look at me like I'm gonna eat you, but like I won't. Like you wanted to just have sex all the time.
Yes, all day long.
Yes, and so now when it's like we live by the beach and you can see the waves from our balcony or our backyard. And so now, instead of looking at me like
I would go ravage the waves.
Well, and that's the thing is
you
used to look at me and you'd literally like want to like have sex, and I was like, I'm doing stuff. What? And you'd be like, so then you'd pour your energy into work, which kind of like bugged me. I was like, turn it off. You don't need to work. And so I was happy that you found like a hobby and something for you that like took a little bit of energy and gave me again more space.
I have a mistress.
It's called surfing, and I'm fine with that, mistress.
It's called.
See, and maybe in relationships
surfing.
when men are not feeling fulfilled, maybe
mistress.
that's why they really get a mistress. And maybe instead of a mistress, you should just get a hobby.
Wow. That's intense, and that's going to leave us on here for this show. We hope that you got something from it. We've got to wrap up because we've got other appointments to get to right now. And find a hobby. But we have this, like, we have a couple of big points that came out today. One was worry about yourself. No, warm her up, and worry about yourself. Then we also have the repeating topic of don't be a pouty guy.
And you have the other topic of
travel sex.
Just get it in there.
Quickie before you go.
Put one in for the team.
Date night and quickie before you go. Great communication while you're gone, and date night and quickie when you get back, and everything is on point. Yes, I've been on point all day long. I've done tons.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
You have a wonderful rest of your day.
I was trying to end it, but
go ahead and end us off.
All right, you guys. Thanks so much for listening, and don't forget to tune into some of our other podcasts here on the Date Your Wife podcast. I suck at it.
I love you. You did a great job. You were nailing it until you didn't give any clear instruction.
I get pressure when it's ending.
Welcome, guys, to the Date Your Wife podcast, and thank you for subscribing to some other things called a podcast. All right, listen, Date Your Wife podcast is one of many of the podcasts we run here on the Warrior Empire Network. Would love to have you part of this. You can always get the video, the key tips, tricks, action guides for each one of these shows by heading over to dateyourwifenow.com. So make that happen. We'll see you guys next week as we jump into the topic of money.